Hello, hello, and welcome. I'm Debbie Danford from craftiercreations.blogspot.com. So today I'm coming to you with the artistic leaves. This was a bonus class that my friend Tracy Evans Langley did in our last East Meets West Creativity Kit. Sorry, stumbling with my own words. And I still have a couple packets left. It's $32.50. That does include shipping. These two cards are not what's in the packet. I am going to post these out on my blog out at craftiercreations.blogspot.com. But I don't know if I'll get them posted before the video is out there. So if you're interested in picking up this kit, let me know. It will not ship right away because I have to order the stamp set, because the stamp set is included with this and the supplies to make 4 cards. And her cards are awesome. And I'm going to, when I post I have a page out there on my blog now where past kits are for sale out there. But I got to pull her pictures and get them all set up. And I haven't done that yet. So if you're interested, let me know. Anyway, I decided to play with this set because I hadn't played with it yet. And I did a couple variations here that we're going to do today. A traditional color palette, I guess we could say. I used crushed curry and calypso coral. And crushed curry is not usually my go-to yellow. Usually I do daffodil delight quite often. And I've been using the darling duckling too. But they're packed in a box for my class at the Stille Valley Center on Wednesday. So if you live local, I do a class there once a month at Smoky Point at the Stille Valley Center. You can also reach out if you need details on that. I share it all the time. You can call them. They do this. They have a sign-up form there. So, but yeah, I do 2 classes, one in the morning and one in the afternoon there. Anyway, so yeah, this one, calypso coral and crushed curry. And then I stamped the phrase in early espresso. And then I did something a little different with misty moonlight and balmy blue, using the same phrases, the same stamps, but look how different it looks. And I actually have to say, I like the blues. So let's go ahead and do some stamping. All right, so I have we're going to stamp. This is for the inside because I did do the inside there too. You see that? So let's go ahead and we're going to start with the blues because I already have ink on them because I just made these samples. I'm kind of playing catch up this week. I was out of town last week. We were at Silverwood Theme Park in Idaho with our grandkids, and I have to admit, I swear to God, I think my husband and I think we needed extra couple days after we got back just to recoup from a week at a theme park with a 4-year-old and an 8-year-old. Let's just say it was a very busy week. Okay, so I'm going to stamp. This is our front, our smaller piece, 3 3/4 by 5, and this one's 4 by 5 1/4. This is going to be for the inside, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp that right there. And then let's stamp one about right here. And of course, you could do this any way you want. And then I turn my stamp a little bit, and I'm going to stamp one down here. Okay, this stamp right here, I love how it looks. You don't even have to use the layering one if you don't want to. I just love how that leaf looks. All right, let's bring in Misty Moonlight. Now it does line up, and it's okay if you don't get it lined up perfectly. These are what we would call a distinctive stamp because you don't have everything filled in everywhere, but then we have a layering stamp that we can put on top of it. Voila! And of course you could do it either way. You could do this lighter, that darker. There is no right or wrong to how you do it. This is just how I chose to do it, and I thought it looked good, so I went with it. Okay, so then we're just lining this up. And it's great having the photopolymer. I was off a little bit because you can see it a little bit better as you're trying to line everything up. And there's that one. And then this one, go right there. Okay, so there's that. Now let's bring in, this is the little splatter. I love it when there's a little splatter. I feel like every stamp set should have a splatter. It's one of my favorite things is to add, like, you know, just a little bit of background stuff with just a tiny splatter. And I'm just randomly going around. I'm not really, there's no right or wrong or however many you want. It's all up to you. And then we're going to do some on the inside also. Okay. Then I took a blending brush with some balmy blue ink on it, and we're just inking it up just like that. And this should probably do both of them. I always start off the edge a little bit, but I just went around the card front just like that. And then we're going to do the same thing just on the edge part of the inside. Now you could do it on your phrase that you're going to stamp to if you want to. I was going to, and then I forgot when I did these, so maybe this time we'll just go a little bit around the edge just to, there we go, just to add a little. Okay, then we are going to bring in, and I pulled out the Celebrate Today, and this is from the Artistic Leaves set. And I'm going to just stamp the Celebrate Today right here in the center. This die cut that I had pre-die cut is from the Beautiful Butterflies set. I thought it worked great for that. Now all we're going to do is let's pull our parts and pieces here, and let's just do some layering. Let's see, I want this to go like this. So we're layering the 3 3/4 by 5 on top of a 4 by 5 1/4 piece of Misty Moonlight, and then we'll put it on our 5 1/2 by 8 1/2 piece of Balmy Blue. Okay, and my husband, of course, decided to start mowing when I decided to film this, but I don't think you can hear him. Hopefully not. Okay, that goes there, and then. And I'm using the mono glue today. My go-to is usually Stampin' Seal Plus, but I forgot to order some. And actually I have a box sitting here I need to check in basically, but I haven't had time to even check all that in, and I can't remember if I ordered some or not. If not, I have to order some more plus. What happened was the last time I put the wrong number in and I ordered the Stampin' Seal Plus, but it was the full set in the case already, and that wasn't really what I needed. I kept them for right now anyway. Okay, then on this one, what I did, so you see behind here, it's a piece of the Misty Moonlight ribbon that I just pulled on the end here and deconstructed it. The reason I'm not going to pull on this one, now this is a 2-pack. It comes with Misty Moonlight and Basic White, and I can't remember the name of it. I think it's just Combo Misty Moonlight and Basic White, honestly. And the white is already gone. I can't remember the full name of that. I need to look it up. But when you deconstruct, then you end up with like this. So for this card, I'm going to use what was left over from when I deconstructed that. I'm doing some double duty here. And I'm just literally going to pop it down there. I'm not really like paying attention to where it's at. And then I'm going to pop this up with dimensionals. So I'm going to cut, let's see, let's do one of these little strips. As you can see, I'm almost done with this set of dimensionals. And then we'll put this one over here on this end. And because this ribbon here is just like really fine sewing thread almost at this point, it's easy to add the dimensionals on top of the blah, 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 the ribbon. Couldn't find my words. And I'm just placing it right here. You can put it, of course, wherever you want. And then for this one, I added some of the iridescent faceted gems, which these are on the last chance list. These are one of my favorite go-tos because they color really nice. So if you don't want white on here, you could color it with Misty Moonlight. And I'm going to grab that. We're gonna do that for this one. But they were on the last chance list they're on sale for $6.80. So, and there's still some out there. I looked it up just to make sure. Man, I would scoop some of these up if I were you, because I really like these. These are like my favorite. I was really sad when I saw they were headed to last chance. Not what I wanted to see. Okay, so I'm just coloring them with a Misty Moonlight Stampin' Blend. You have to use the Stampin' Blends to color bling because these are alcohol based. So this will show you the difference between, and I use the light. You could use the dark, you can use either one. There's no right or wrong. I'm going to put one big one and one small one here. I like the blue. I like the colored, I think almost better than the white. I mean, I like them both. Okay, there's our first card. Pretty, huh? And non-traditional colors. This could easily be you could do so many color combinations, honestly, with these two leaves. Simple stamping. You could do a one-sheet wonder with this and make 4 cards. Now I got some thinking to do there. Okay, so let's go ahead and first let me clean my stamps really quick, because now we're going to be using more of a fall color palette. And I know fall is not very far away. So if you're on my email list, then you've seen the emails about my August special, because my birthday is in August. So I'm doing excuse me, I'm doing, now I got a frog in my throat. I am doing a ordering special. If you order over, gosh, now I can't even remember. I think it's $50. Gosh, I feel silly because I can't remember now. Stampin' Up! Always does $75, but I think I did $50. You will get $10 in rewards from me. And I'm going to send them out at the end of the month. That's $50 before shipping and tax, and before, if you have rewards and you cash it in, the order itself needs to be the $50. But then I'll send you $10 in rewards at the end of the month, just to thank you for shopping with me during my birthday month. And if you're not on my email list, then you can fill out, I have the form will be attached below, and you could fill out the form and get on my email list, and then you wouldn't miss out on any of those things. Okay. So, actually what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stamp the phrase really quick just to get that one out of the way. Okay, there's that. And then we'll close that up and won't even need it anymore. And then I'm going to bring in Calypso Coral and the Crushed Curry. And then we are going to stamp, I kind of flip-flopped it, so let's, okay. This leaf in the Crushed Curry. And let me bring in my scrap piece, that way I don't get stuff all over. If you don't have a glass mat, I highly recommend a glass mat. I love using the glass mat. Okay, this is our inside piece. So there's part of it. I love this stamp. I really do. I have to say, this stamp alone is very, very lovely. Would be a good word. I love how it stamps. Okay, there's one there. And then let's put one over here. Okay, there's those 3. Now let's bring in the layering stamp. And let's stamp that one. Hang on, now I gotta It's hard when you don't see everything as to where it lines up. I think it's just like this. Hope so. I was off a little bit, but not bad. I've been using this little one right down here to do my lineup because it lines up right in that space. But when you stamp off a little bit and you can't see that one, it does make it a little more difficult. There we go. Okay, there's that. And now let's stamp this over here. Voila. And we'll bring in our little background. And stamp that in the crushed curry. And I'm just randomly going around. No right or wrong. Same with the inside here. Okay, then let's bring in that blending brush and add some ink here. And I know it says Lemon Lolly. That's because I don't think I have a crushed curry brush in my Daffodil Delight one packed in a box right now for my class. I was trying to get everything ready today, so I got everything cut and prepped. I still got to go back and put blocks in everything, but for the most part, it will be ready to go. Okay, so there's all our stamping. Doesn't it look pretty already? Okay. Now we're just going to assemble. Here, let's move these out of the way so that we don't drop our card in it. Yes, I've done that. Done it on camera, I think, too. Now we're going to layer this on top of here, and then this is going to go here. So let's go ahead and attach these two. Again, this is a 3 3/4 by 5, and we're layering it onto a 4 by 5 1/4 piece. And then we'll attach it to our 5 1/2 by 8 1/2 piece of crushed curry. Pretty standard measurements for this layout, which is nice. It makes it easy peasy, easy to replicate. Okay, then let's add our inside piece, which goes right here. Okay, there's that. And this one, I put linen thread behind it. This is a new roll. I had a little bit left, but I didn't think it was enough. And what I'm going to do is just add a little bit of adhesive right there. And I use my fingers as a marker, I guess you could say. I'm going to go back down one. And then I just do a little twisty loop like that, and then plop it down, and then I trim my edges, my ends just as needed. And again, let's add some dimensionals. So let's put one of these down here on the end, and then we'll just put a strip over here. These strips at the end are great, honestly. And then we'll attach this to the front and then add a little bling. Okay, there's that. And I pulled in, and I'm pretty sure these are still available, the Neutrals Adhesive Backed Sequence. Comes in silver, copper, gold. This is probably bronze, but I like to use it with early espresso because I think it goes quite well. So that's what I did today. And I think it works great. Sometimes you just never know with some of the bling how it's going to coordinate. And sometimes I think we are quite surprised at how it may be one color, but it looks good with something else. All right. there we go. There was the second one in more of the fall colored traditions. And then let me bring the blue, which blue is my favorite color, but I love how the blue looks. I really do. All right. Thank you so much for joining me today. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out and ask. And don't forget to like, follow, and share, depending on where you're watching this. Either YouTube, you can like it and then follow me on YouTube. If you're watching it on Facebook, of course, you can follow my Facebook. You can still like it. You can comment, any of those things. But I truly appreciate everybody that's been jumping on board onto following me on Facebook and YouTube. And I will see you again on Thursday. Bye, guys.